A look at Junaid Private Limited, JPL. And I think this will be really interesting because, we see buildings and infrastructure all around us, but we don't always think about like the companies that make this stuff.
Yeah, it's easy to overlook that whole side of
Yeah.
things, right? Like, where do all the materials come from? Who's actually making them?
Right, exactly. And JPL's website is a gold mine of information about all that. So we're going to use that as our source today to really get into like how this company operates, its history, and just how diverse their work really is.
And they really do cover a lot of ground, don't they? Like, when you look at their website, you immediately get a sense of just how broad their operations are and have been since they were founded back in 1991.
Totally. And it's not just one thing either. It's not like they just make bricks or just build bridges. They're involved in manufacturing, trading, and even taking on building projects themselves, which is pretty impressive when you think about it.
Definitely. It speaks to a certain level of expertise and, I guess you could say vertical integration, right?
Yeah.
Like they're involved in multiple stages of the process, from producing the raw materials to actually using them in construction.
It's like they've got their hands in every part of the pie.
And speaking of pie, let's break down what they actually produce because the list is quite extensive.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's everything from those basic building blocks like clay bricks and concrete blocks to more specialized things like PC strand and wires, which is that super strong steel cable used in pre-stressed concrete, the stuff that holds those massive concrete structures together.
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here.
Mm-hmm.
And they even make fencing wire, too, so it's really a wide range of products.
And it's all connected, too,
Yeah.
right? Like there's supplying materials for housing, infrastructure, energy, all these essential sectors. And to get even more specific, they actually list some examples of their work on the website. Oh, yeah, the examples really bring it to life. So they've supplied these things called PC spun hollow poles to Wapti Day Discos. Those are their regional electricity companies in Pakistan. And those poles are what you often see holding up power lines across the country.
Exactly. It's like the backbone of the power grid, in a way. And then there's the crane they provided to Pakistan Railways and those disc insulators, which are essential for power transmission, that they supply to FESCO. I mean, it's a pretty impressive portfolio.
And to think that all started back in 1991 with precast concrete, it makes you wonder what prompted them to expand their operations so quickly just a few years later, in 1995, into those construction and development services.
Yeah, that's a good question. And it could have been a strategic decision to get more involved in the whole building process, not just supplying materials, but actually using them to create structures.
That makes sense. And then in 2000, they went even further, establishing their own PC pole plant. So they really were doubling down on their manufacturing capabilities.
Which is interesting because then by 2006, they were also trading equipment and building materials.
Mm-hmm.
So they weren't just making things anymore. They were becoming a major player in the supply chain as well.
It's like they saw the potential to become a one-stop shop for all things construction and infrastructure. And then in 2013, they really started to branch out even further, beginning steel fabrication and even getting into exports.
Yeah, that's a big step, right? It shows they weren't content with just the domestic market. They were looking to make their mark internationally.
Mm-hmm.
And then just a couple years later, in 2015, they added even more to their manufacturing repertoire: bricks, blocks, curbstones, pavers. The list goes on and on.
It's amazing how they just kept expanding and diversifying their operations. And it wasn't just about physical products either. In 2018, they jumped into the world of IT with digital inbound marketing services. It's like they're constantly innovating and adapting to the changing times.
For sure. And they were serious about those exports too, because they officially ramped those up in 2018 as well. It's like they had this vision for growth and they were pursuing it on multiple fronts.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of vision, their website has this founder's note that really highlights their core values. And it's clear that these values are central to how they operate.
Oh yeah, the founder's note is fascinating. It talks about integrity, honesty, competency, collaboration, creativity, and respect. It's not just lip service either. They explicitly state that these values are expected from both their employees and their business.